Cool kid. Cool. Don't be a fool. All right, cool kid. So, I didn't get a chance to make this video yesterday because time constraints. I had to work. So I worked 6 in a row. And I didn't feel like foregoing sleep to make the video. While I was out and about, though, I stopped by the pawn shop. And I grabbed a few delicious items. Now, there was silver readily available under melt at the pawn shop. That's the first thing I will say. There were 1 ounce rounds under melt. There were Walker halves under melt. But guess what? I got plenty of generic rounds. I got plenty of Walkers. You know, you never have too many, whatever. But, you know, we don't know what silver is going to be tomorrow. It's gone up several dollars. It's shooting up like a rocket ship. Paying melt right now is probably not a good idea unless you're getting something with the cool factor. That was my thinking anyway when I made the following purchase. So, with no further ado, let me show you what $125 gets you in the brave new world that we live in the cluster F that is $50 silver. Are you ready? All right. First up, we have a coin. This is going to get a second video. It's going to be a very short video, but it's going to be an update video because Silver Coins Around the World has rules. The rules are pretty simple. You get a coin that was either made for or in the country in question at some point in time. Okay, so it doesn't have to be right now. It could be, the Ottoman Empire would count for Turkey. If it was minted in a specific mint for the Ottoman Empire, it counts for that country. Okay, if you don't do it that way, there's certain countries you're never going to get a coin for. Mauritania comes to mind. So anyway, this is a 20 Biaochi. Biaochi? I don't know how you say that, man. What's up, Biaochi? But anyway, it is a circulating issue, which is the point of where I was going with that. So always in Silver Coins Around the World, a circulating issue, right, is going to be superior to a commemorative issue, which is going to be superior to a bullion issue. So bullion issues are the least of the entries, right? So for example, Trinidad and Tobago, right? Trinidad, I don't know if they have a bullion coin, but say they did. Say that Scottsdale Mint was making a Trinidad and Tobago. I think they are. Yeah. No, they are. They are. Okay, that would be the least. Then the commemoratives made by Franklin Mint in the 70s, they would be a little better. But I could actually see somebody preferring the bullion coin to that and stuff. But whatever. But if you had an old clipped 8 real with the counter stamp of Trinidad and Tobago on it, that would be the king of that. That would be the best you could do, right? If you could find a circulating issue, which that's how they did it. They took coins from other countries and counter stamped them. If you had that, right, that's going to be the go diggity Trinidad and Tobago ultimate, right? Well, in this case, we've got a coin that actually circulated at the Holy See. So that's going to be a replacement coin for the one we have. Now, we paid $15 for it. So let's see here. The melt value on this coin, as of right now, that is our coin, as you can see, is $7.64. So I paid double melt for a Holy See circulating coin from 1860. Mintage in 1860. Depending on which variety, looks like it's about 3.5 million, something like that. And there's several varieties, so we could probably check that out. But I'm not going to get into. Well, we could do Numista and check that out. But the point is, how'd we do? Well, we can look at some on sale. Here's one on sale on, $25 plus shipping. And I would say the conditions are pretty similar. They both got about the same amount of wear. This one might be a little more worn, but they're both pretty worn. You see that? So, you're talking a $25 coin for $15. Now that's retail. You don't want to pay retail. So it might be, maybe $10 would have been a more fair price. I like to pay about half a retail on a numismatic purchase, as a general rule. But I'm not sad about $15 for that coin. You guys let me know how I did in the comments. We got to move along, though. So this coin is double melt. Not a very good stacking treasure. Is it? Yeah, not the best stacking word. But I digress. Next up, I took an outlier. I'm going to get the weird stuff out of the way first. Nah, I'll probably save that for last. Okay. I saw this coin for 30, and I remember that Canadian dollars were about $28, right? Now, this one has a lot of luster on it, luster. So I'm thinking mint state something. But it's still under melt. Okay, so that's important to note. It's under melt. So it's a lustrous BU-ish 1939 silver dollar from Canada. Melt value on this, we're going to look it up real quick. I do already have one of these, but it's in a holder. And this one's not in a holder, and I like some raw Nerigolin, So, 1939, $1, Canada, we hit it, and we'll go to it, and right away you can see it's below melt. It's 31.21. That's after silver drop, guys. 31.21. And that is our coin. Our coin might even be nicer than the one they're showing here. I don't know. You tell me. But the point is, let's see what they say. They say a mint state coin's worth $35, so they don't give it much of a crap about it being a mint state. There are 1.36 million of these in the world, so it's a fairly high mintage, but it's not a super high mintage. And if that was, a more sought after coin, people would probably be paying a little more. But I don't care. I bought it under melt. That was the point of the exercise. I knew it was under melt when I grabbed it, so I grabbed it. Now, here's a coin that I thought would be near melt. I paid $20 for this 1876. It's worn out. I get it, guys. No one's saying that the dang coin's a gem, okay? But I can read all the details. I've got a mint mark. It's a $50. It's from the United States. Seeded 1876S for $20. So I'm like, how can you go wrong at $20? So we're going to find out. Of course, it's worn. I get that, but not that much silver is worn off of this coin. It's a nice heavy coin. So we can pull it out and weigh it if you guys really want to. I can make a whole video out of that. Let me know, guys. So we're going to look this up. Okay, there's our coin. Obviously, ours doesn't look quite so nice anymore, but that is the coin. And so I just want to see the melt value is 1881. Okay, so I paid 20. would you have paid $20 for $18.81, give or take? It might be, there might be a 50 cents worth of silver offer here. Let's call it $18.31 worth of silver here. Would you, for the cool factor, paid $1 and some change over melt? That's the question. I thought it was a good deal. I grabbed it. I jumped on it. It's got a date. It's got a mint mark. Okay. Then I saw this. And I said, well, Daddy needs one of these. Daddy ain't got this date. Oh boy. So, one of these, I'm used to paying $35-$40 for one of these anyway. $50 with silver as high as it is. Well, let me be the first to tell you guys, this is, it's not under melt, but it's pretty damn close to being near melt for a coin that you don't get anywhere near melt. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and look it up for you. 1906. Piastre de commerce. The melt value on this coin. Ooh. There we go. That is our coin. Let's compare photos. As you can see, that is our coin. And we can even click it before we. All right, that is our coin. Isn't that lovely? All right. Anyway, back to the point. The melt value of the coin is $40.63. So we got for $9.37 over melt. So why did I pay $9? My goodness, I could have got a quarter for that. Well, these coins, they're old. It's a 1906. There's only 10 million minted, and I think it's worth a little over melt for the cool factor. Sue me. So then I saw something. I was like, okay, this is just a gamble. I just decided, what the hell, why not? So you're gonna see what it is. But when I grabbed it, this was not labeled. All these coins. All these coins were labeled. This coin was not labeled. It was labeled as nothing. What you're seeing is my handwriting. $10 is all it said. $10. So I paid $10 for this coin. All right. Now it says 1606. You see that? It's got an M on it. And then it's got the heraldry. See that? Now I enlisted my friends, my good friends, at the Discord to help me ID this coin because I had no idea what it was. And they very quickly, it's when I showed the reverse. So this heraldry is the sigil or whatever, shield of something or other for Bavaria, which is an old German state in modern day Deutschland. And this coin is a 1 Pfennig. It is silver. From 1606. And we're going to find it here real quick. I'll pause it. All right, and here's our coin. And it is silver. It is 0.25 grams. So it's lightest little bit of silver. And depending on the condition, it's worth between 8 and $75. Now mine, I would say, is in poorer condition, so it's probably more on the $8 side. But if you go hunt this coin up and go try to find some listings for it, you're not going to, because they are actually quite rare. It turns out they're hard to find. I even looked on MA shops and couldn't find one. The guys in the German chat, they told me these coins are super rare. Well, it's fairly rare. Super rare is cool. But it is a rare coin. It has a numismatic index scarcity. I know I jumbled that up. Of 85 on Numista. So that means it's fair. It's not something everybody has. The one I did find sold for $25. Okay, the one I could find that recently sold for $25. So is mine worth $25? I'm not saying it is, but I'm happy to have it for 10. And if we ever get my date run back to 1606, I've already got the coin for it. So it's already a winner for me. So anyway, cool kids, this is going into the Silver Coins Around the World album because it is an upgrade technically for me, because it's a circulating issue, right? This is a really cool grab. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen this coin before? If you have, let me know in the comments. If you haven't, let me know. And then again, let me know. Did I mess up paying $20 for this seated $50? I hope not. Did I mess up buying this thing for $50? Did I make a boo-boo? And then finally, I need your final vote. Was $10 too much for this? Might be 35 cents worth of silver. It might be 50 cents worth of silver. It's a very tiny hunk of silver. Was it worth grabbing? Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that jive. If you enjoyed the video, and if you hated it, tell me why in the comments. Thanks again, and find all the collectibles of your dreams while you're away.